Mhm. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Monday, June the 12th. We are ready for the second week of June, second full week of June in the market. Got so many things happening this week that could cause issues, but we know how to trade what we see, right? So we're going to get into it. I have an appointment I have to go to after this. I really hate that I'm not going to be able to do the trading the open, but Mr. P has a schedule that seems to include me. I'm okay, but no. So I would definitely want to trade because I wanted to be able to see the breakout together this morning. And I may just do it like via chat because even though we have somewhere to go, I will be I think I'll be riding, but I don't know. Mr. P worked last night, so he may decide he needs a chauffeur because I'm too tired. I worked all night. Oh my goodness, it's good times over here. Good times. In the market this morning, why the Fed's rate decision will be a last minute call. And the Fed's next move on interest rates will likely be game time decision on Wednesday, given it will get the latest consumer inflation the day before. I was going to talk about this, and Lashman talked about it in his video as well, and said that basically what the Fed decides to do is going to be based on the CPI and the PPI data. If inflation has cooled off, they may pause it. But if inflation has not cooled, then they may hike it 25 again, which is going to make a difference, or according to Latchman, because if they pause it, the market probably will go on and try to go on up into the bull. But if they rate hike one more time, according to Latchman, the market will surely fall and fall pretty far. So I'll get into his numbers and all that discussion from him. But the Feds are going to give their decision thing on Wednesday, but the CPI and the PPI data is on Tuesday. So we've got interesting things happening. Stock futures are muted, oil lower with Fed and key data in focus. Yeah, people are probably going to wait till Tuesday, Wednesday. Tesla's shrewdest product, its charging network. We've talked about this before, how and Tesla making this basically the deal with General Motors was that they will allow them to use their charging stations. So they will allow General Motors customers to use the charging stations of Tesla. But turns out that I saw something that said the Tesla people may not be as fond of that concept because that means there's more people for us to fight with on these charging stations. So that may or may not be a happy place for the Tesla owners, but all remains to be seen. Salesforce dives deeper into generative AI with stock on a sizzling run. I heard a video from Wall Street Trapper last night, and he basically said, do not jump on the AI IPOs. He said a bunch of these AI folks are going to try to run and do a quick IPO because that'll be a way for them to get cash. And so he said, basically, don't go jumping in on that. There we go. Don't go jumping in on that because they're just getting for cash. They're going to, try to convince all their folks that the market, we're going to run up, see how AI is running. He said, and then when they run up to the moon, some people be excited, other people it's going to drop and they're going to still be holding the bag thinking it's coming back and they just going to be left holding the bag. So his guidance from the Trapper was to leave the AI IPOs alone. But honestly, I don't think we really do IPOs much anyway. Our last teacher back in the days was kind of warned against IPOs, even though when Robinhood did one, that self-same person got in on the Robinhood IPO, but that's neither here nor there. Just saying. Listen to what the Wall Street Trapper said, maybe mindful of IPOs. Good morning. Just leave it where it is. Yes, sir.
I can't speak to what he's saying about the overall perception, but I will say that even if you don't jump on the IPO, pay attention to who is IPOing.
Yes.
Because They're not jumping out there trying to grab cash because they plan on folding up if they don't get the cash.
True. Some of them though, but one of his points was that some of these companies do need the money, and that's why they run into the IPO in hopes of making it do what it do.
Right. So that's why I'm saying, even if you don't jump on the IPO piece, definitely put their name on your list to watch.
Yeah. I'm all for that. I'm not saying be oblivious. I mean, I may not necessarily trade Apple. Don't mean I ain't paying attention to what Apple's doing.
Right. Well, I know sometimes when people don't do the IPO, they just kick the company to the curb.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you don't want to do that in this situation.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, AI as a general concept, it's been in play for the whole time. Once you saw chatbots 5 years ago, you was already dealing with AI. So it's not like, it's new. It's been around all the time. It's just the new hot thing, almost the equivalent of somebody's considered an overnight success because they got a platinum album, but they've been building that for the longest.
Right.
So it's like, no, this stuff has been in motion the whole time.
Right.
So just keep those names on the list when you see them, like C3 AI and all them other companies. Make sure you pay attention to them.
I think you have to go ahead, Rasta.
I was gonna say, Jeopardy used to have the big blue versus humans long time ago.
Oh yeah.
And my BlackBerry, my faithful little BlackBerry, that guy used to finish my sentences for me.
Yeah.
So AI's been around for a real long time.
A real long time. This is the truth. It's been around a long time. And then those little boxes we all have in our house, and the one that's inside your phone, they've been doing their thing for a while too. So it's evolving, of course, like things do. And now you're getting the chat thing where you can kind of invoke a question and get some kind of response back. So it's what it is. I read the article that you put in the chat too, Jamie, about the AI, the 3 different AI companies, and that was a good article. Canva, for those of us who use Canva has a little AI feature, a chat. I think it's called something like, not Miracle. It's called something, but it's like a little star thing at the bottom right, where you can ask Canva to create this or that or the third, and Canva has it magic something. Yeah, Canva has it going too. So it's around. This is the point we're making here. It's around. It's around, round. Let's see what's going on. Stock futures gain as hope builds. The Fed will pause the rate hikes this week. I saw another person said that there's about an 80% chance at this point. The folks who make these speculations are speculating about there's about an 80% chance that they will pause the rate hike. But now, one thing Lashman said was it's a pause. It's 2 sides to the pause. Are they pausing indefinitely, or are they pausing till the next time? Because even though they pause it now, doesn't mean it's paused until. And if it gets moved later, then that's going to have its ramifications as well. So many things to worry about, and I am not an economist or really have a great deal of understanding about it, but I'm learning pieces and pieces. I get to see how the puzzles are fitting together. It's interesting because I say it's interesting. It's kind of not. I'm not interested, which is that's really what the problem is. I'm not interested, but I have to be interested just based on what we do here. So though it's not an interest that would reside within me in general, I now have to be more interested because of what we're trying to do as it pertains to teaching other people and teaching myself how to be a long-term trader. We need to know different things about the economy than how those things affect what we do every day. Yeah. So in the pre-market for the US, the Dow futures is up 0.11%, S&P futures up 0.21%, NASDAQ futures up 0.41%. Stock futures gain as hope builds, Fed will pause the rate hikes. I just said that. Oil is down 2.22%, and the US 10-year bonds are down 0.021. Okay. JP Morgan settles the Epstein victims case after accusers' lawyers push for diamond disposition or demon disposition. Okay. I'm going to walk on away from that. Yeah, Europe's market is all green over there in the European pre-market, or pre-market for us during Europe times. Europe stocks are higher ahead of central bank meets. UBS up 0.7% after completing the Credit Suisse. UBS bought Credit Suisse, right? Credit Suisse. So maybe that's all done. So they're up in price. All of these are green. No reason for me to call out all these numbers. They're all a good bit of green, except FTSE is up 0.14%. So they're all good green over in Europe. Asia is a bit of a mixed bag. Asia markets are mixed ahead of crunch central bank meetings. Oh, wonder what crunch, like the meetings are crunch meetings? Don't know. So ASX up 0.32%, Nikkei's up 0.52%, Kospi is down 0.45%, the Hang Seng is up 0.07%, and Shanghai is down 0.08%. Looking at the Forex Factory, I actually did a YouTube video on Saturday. I think if I do them on, I get a better chance of getting them done if I do them on Saturdays, because Sundays, my mind doesn't get motivated to do that, which is weird because it's set up for Monday, but somehow it doesn't get there. So if I put it on my Saturday schedule, got a better chance of getting the video completed and put up in time for people to benefit from it. That's the point. It's got to be up in time for people to benefit from it, right? So for this week, today at 1 o'clock, we got the 10-year bond auction, which is an orange folder. And at 2 o'clock, we've got the federal budget balance, which is interesting. Wasn't the federal budget balance at 4 o'clock in previous times? Now they're bringing it into the trading day. Tuesday, 6 in the morning, NFIB Small Business Index. 8:30, you got CPI data, month over month, year over year, yada, yada. 1 o'clock, 30-year bond auction. Wednesday morning, you got PPI data in the morning, crude oil inventories, and then the Fed stuff happens at 2 o'clock, and 2:30 is the press conference. So Tuesday and Wednesday are hot days. Thursday morning, you've got core retail sales. All that is in red for Thursday morning. Unemployment claims. The Philly Fed pops in there at 8:30 with the orange folder. Import prices month over month. 9:15, industrial production, capacity utilization. 10 o'clock, business inventories, natural gas storage, and then the long-term purchases for the tick. That's all Thursday. Market will probably absorb what happened on Wednesday. Friday, we've got FOMC member Waller speaking at 7:45 in the morning. And then you got the preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiments and inflation expectations. So last week, we had a really good week, right? And this week, we've got some landmines we've got to watch over or watch out for. So let's definitely be prepared for our landmines this week. We're going to talk more about some stuff in a second. I'm going to go back to that. But economic calendar for today, when I looked at the week, there's nothing different on the investing.com week than there was on the Forex week, which is why you'll see if you watch the YouTube video that I didn't really even talk about investing.com because there was nothing new to discuss. The earnings piece, our earnings for this week is just a few things. Let me see if I can find the photo of earnings this week and change my share. I'll go straight from here into Adam. Earnings this week is light, which means we must be wrapping it up. ECARX is this morning before market. I never even heard of them. After market closes today, though, we have Oracle. Oracle we have heard of. Tuesday morning before the open, we got MPA. After close, we've got Iteris, and I'm not sure who this was 2 M's, but I don't know who that is. I couldn't read it, even when I made it bigger. Wednesday before the open is Aurora and Anterix. Lennar, which is Homes on Wednesday after the market closes, RF. Thursday morning, we got Kroger, Cognite, Jabil, and Wiley. And on Thursday after the market close, we have Adobe, another name we know. So we've got Oracle, Monday after close, Lennar, Wednesday after close, Adobe, Thursday after close, Kroger, before open. I've been trading Kroger because Kroger has been going up pretty nicely, first of all, and it has a high implied volatility percentile. So I've been trading Kroger a little bit as a high IV play. Been doing that. Let me see. Let me get to Adam. Here we go. After a 4-month breakout, I forgot to read the newsletter to find out the difference in that spread. I need to go do that. After a 4-month breakout, June 10th, ESF spent last week basing before breaking out again Friday from 43.44, 42 for a new leg. Keep trailing, stops up on the longs. Plan today, 43.55, 43.44, strong supports. Base more, which keeps 43.68. 43.80 in play. 43.44 fails, we start to sell to 43.27. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the minus 40 that he mentioned last week, and then I will make the adjustment once I have, if I need to make the adjustment once I read the newsletter and see what he says as far as that goes. Okay, I'm not going there now though, because I want to go here. Why is this hiding somewhere else? I don't want to go there right now. I'll work those numbers in a second.
Double witching is this week as well.
Double witching?
Or triple, whatever.
Quad
It is.
witching? Oh, triple? No, it's June, right?
Third week.
Third week of June. This is quad witching.
Whatever witching it is.
Whatever witching. I think it's quad witching because January, February, March, that's the first one. April, May, June. June's the second one. Yeah. Nobody talked about that. Quad witching, which if you don't remember what quad witching is, basically where your weekly things expire, your monthly things expire. I always try to close this little buddy over here to the right. Your weekly things expire, your monthly options expire, bonds come to expiration, and there's one more thing, but that's why you have quad witching, which generally during quad witching, there is down because people are trading off their quarterlies, their monthlies, all their things, and then they buy moving forward. So generally there's a dip. I'm gonna fight the urge to say dip, baby. And then you dip, and then you dip, we dip, they dip. I couldn't fight it. I couldn't fight it. Everybody dipped. So anyway, they dip a bit, and then everybody does their buying, and the price may go on up. So this Friday will definitely be a wrestling match. If you didn't think previous Friday, these last few Fridays have been kind of upward moving. Some stuff kind of goes on, then it moves on up. You know, it's interesting because I always see where they say, where like Adam will say stuff like, oh, the last several Fridays, it's done this, that, and the third. And I don't keep up with like previous weeks because I literally trade what we see. So every day I'm looking for what is today doing, not what did it do last Friday or previous Friday, because the market, I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think it has a memory, but it kind of doesn't. So just because it did it last Friday don't mean it's doing it again. Just because it did it yesterday doesn't mean it's doing it again. Just because it did something, an hour ago doesn't mean it's still doing that right now. You just can't assume. Oh, it's been going down, and you thinking it's gonna go down all day. It's 11 o'clock. You look up at 1 o'clock, the market done shot up. You're like, well, I thought we were going down all day. No, you definitely cannot function with it like that. It doesn't work like that. Okay. Lashman's video, first thing he had to say again was that it reached its zenith. It reached the zenith, right? The levels he gave us, he said 42.91 to 43.10, which is what we talked about last week, was still a very strong level. 42.91 is resistance. 43.10 is the 61.8 Fibonacci level, so that's why it's got resistance. But he said it did push through the 43.10 on Friday and made it up to like 43.20. So given that information, he did give one more level up, which is 43.31. He said he doesn't really believe it's going to get to 43.31 unless, again, it's heavily manipulated. But he wanted to put one more resistance number up there just in case it pushed through like it did on Friday. It's expected to keep struggling from 42.91 to 43.10 because the market is heavily saturated. 42.65 is heavy support. Once it closes below 42.65, it will fall more. He said it can go below 42.65, but it has to close below 42.65 in order for there to be some more downwards. If the bulls can hold 42.65, it'll go back up. And he talked about, and we have some other supports here, you can read those. The theory says that once it hits the 61.8 Fibonacci level, which was the 43.10, then it has to come back to test the 50% level, which was the 42.65. I mean, sorry, the 41.55 is the 50% level. If it holds above the 50% level, then it will go back to the 61.8% level. So Jamie is our local Fibonacci master. I didn't know that about the Fib, but he said that if it hits the 61.8, which it did, and it starts to go down, then it needs to go back and test or retest the 50% level, which in this case, is 41.55. He said this is most likely the highest we'll see as far as price for the next 2 years, especially if the rate hikes go up one more time. He said it's going to come back to 39.72 because that's the level from which it was being manipulated. The market manipulators only have Monday to work their plans. He said whatever plans the market manipulators have, they really only have Monday to do it because Tuesday and Wednesday is where we've got other data and other things happening. He said their stuff can't fight the technicals but so long. So if FOMC raises the rates, then there will be no more bullish movement and a heavy fall will ensue, maybe 10 to 12%. As soon as S&P goes green, it will be heavily saturated and extremely unstable, and it can give up at any time. He said it could basically drop, no news, no nothing. It can just start to do its thing. After the rejection of 43.10, bearish movement, maybe on Monday, might be a part of the day, but it could also close green. He said Monday could be some bearish movement, but it could also close green. Monday may be manipulated because they're prepping for Tuesday and Wednesday. If it opens below 42.91, then it's going to try to clear 42.91, but it'll struggle at 43.10. Beyond 42.99 on the weekly chart is again, that manipulation on the weekly chart, of course, weekly stronger than daily. 42.99 on the weekly, heavy fall. At most 43.25 in order to trap the retail traders, those people who are thinking we're in a bull market, because everybody on YouTube has said we're in a bull market, and people are jumping in on calls thinking we're going up just because the VIX is down, and we may go up some. But he said at most you'll get 43.25 in order to trap the retail traders. A good green candle is going to create some suspicion. Any closing below 43.10 means it's going to come down. Actually, the NASDAQ is what's saturated. If pausing rate hike on Wednesday, then the market's going to try to move up. That's what I got. Anybody else get anything else out of his video that I didn't say? Anybody get something out of his video that I didn't say?
I think you got it all.
And you think I got it? Thank you.
Very good summary.
You covered it well. We appreciate the deciphering.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Definitely appreciate it. For me too, I appreciate, because it's like, oh, you got to pay attention, Lord. And the way my ADD is set up, sometimes I be struggling with that, especially if my mind is on something else. Oh, Lord. And I'm like, I need to watch this video though. 43.50. I need to watch this video so I can know and we can know. And so it looks like we may be in a situation where CCS will work again. I know Aminata said she don't trust them. She don't trust the PCSs at this point just yet. I can't say I blame her. But that's what's going on there. Do I have, let me start it up while I'm doing this. There we go. 43.27 is going to be what, 42.87. I will check where's ESF? Let me put up here and put SPX. $43.28, which puts you up there near that 43.31 that Latchman mentioned. I don't know about no 43.40. That, oh, it could be. I mean, that's not too far from 43.31. Not in SPX years. 43.40 and 43.41 are like neighbors. In SPX numbers, I see that we've definitely started finding a kind of a sweet spot with the longer term trades, and then then going with some of the dailies. The 345 candle still seems to be holding steady for those who can hold off and wait till the 345 candle. I think I covered everything in that chart. Yeah. We want to continue to be wise master.
Is anybody really doing the 345 candle? I know it holds up, but it's too nerve-wracking for me.
Yeah. Are you it doesn't because of fear, because of the closeness, or because of premiums and stuff? What's the thing?
No, it's too close.
It's close.
And at that point, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's close. This is true. This is true. It's close. Yeah, it's a scary venture. That's why the other day when I did the one, it might have been Thursday or Friday, I did it at what, 3:59. It's like at this point, unless it literally falls off a cliff, it's got a minute to do it. But you're right, it's close.
You got it at 3:59 and got premium?
I did. I got $35.
What?
$50. I got $50.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. On Friday, I did 42.90.95 put credit spread because it was hovering above the 95 and it was literally 3:59.
Wow. Yeah.
But yes, that's that. So what you can do if you're interested in that window of time is you can pull yourself into the 345 because you got to almost hit that right at 345, because if you wait 2 or 3 minutes, the premiums kind of dissipate because the price is moving around. Or you can move into 350. You know, I usually just kind of start watching the chart and see what it's doing around that window. 350 if I'm going to do it. And then 355, so you can get yourself into
like I know the premium like you have to get in right at 345.
Yeah.
Or it disappears, right? And then for 15 minutes you're sweating.
Yes, this is true. So what you can do is wait till 350, see what's going on.
No,
there.
you won't get you got lucky to get premium at
it might be, but
you
have to
get any premium.
You won't be able to get, most likely won't be able to get that same 345 number. You'll have to look for a 350 number. Or if you do a 355, you got to look for a 355 number. So it may be the same as a 345 number, but it might be one step closer. Yeah, you got to get another number. Is how that goes.
Arlissa, are you still looking at that breakthrough strategy?
The breakout.
Yeah, the breakout.
Yeah, I actually was
but
saying
you're doing XP, XSP. Which one are you doing?
XSP. XSP, because that's the one that's got a reasonable price on it. Reasonable prices at that. And I'm doing it in my cash account because you can open and close. Remember the theory is that you mark the 15-minute candle, the high and the low, and when it breaks out of that, you put in a trade to maybe capture $25, $30. Don't try to get greedy with that. If you're watching the candle, you can put a trail and stop on it. If you're watching the candles and it seems like it's still going in that direction, you can kind of let it run. But remember, anytime you're trading as a buyer, that ain't a walk away trade. That's a do it and watch it. and close it when you're ready. That's not a walk away kind of trade. Okay, if you're going to trade, we don't do much as a buyer. I mean, some days if I'm at the computer or whatever, I may do it, but it requires more watching than I want to even do, even at that, because again, the way my attention is set up, I have to make myself focus sometimes.
So you can't do selling with that at all? You can't sell?
You can do selling, but you need to have, if you're going to open and close the same day, you're going to need to have the money in your account to, or you plan to use a day trade, or you're going to, you can do the PDT hack with it. You just need to, in that case, if you're doing that as a breakout, you're still going to need to manage it until both sides are on, or until you've gotten, if you're just going to open and close it, you're going to want to make sure that you've watched to make sure that it gives you what you're looking for.
Okay.
Yes, you can definitely do it as a seller. That's what the Ariane person that we were watching her videos, she did it she's doing it, I guess, as a seller. Her account is larger than 25K, so she doesn't have to worry about opening and closing. And I believe she's going after like a $25, and she does 10 contracts. So 10 spreads. So when you've got a little more capital, you can take a smaller move, do multiple contracts, and then pull in an amount of money that you're looking to pull in. I've been doing it with just one contract at a time because I first of all, I'm not really mainly a buyer, and second, I just want to see how it does. So I'm just, testing it out.
I wonder which is best for your central nervous system, the 345 or the breakout.
No, the breakout is better.
Breakout would be better.
I need something that's not going to make me go crazy too much.
Yeah. I would see the breakout would be better because of the fact that I think why it feels better is the breakout contracts may cost $30. They might cost $40. You know what I mean? So the amount of money that is there is, I won't call it minimal because $40, I want you people who have to honor all the money. But I'm saying if you pay $40 for it and you can close it for 20, then you're not just waiting around hoping to see. And in that case, you're putting $30 or $40 on the line. If it pops up to what you want, you're closing it. If it goes down and you don't like that, you close it and you still salvage some of your money. Of course, with selling 345 candle, if it breaches entirely, then whatever you put with XSP, you put $100 out, which for me, I've said I'm cool with that. SPX at later in the day like that, I have to, work up the nerve to be that close with the $500, there, because we've seen it, go nuts, and then you're sitting there just looking like, I know you lying. As my daughter says. Yeah, you look
like a deer with headlights, That's how I feel. Like, what?
I know you lying, right? You just like, what the world? With XSP, even if that happens, it doesn't affect my nervous system as bad. But XSP offers still offers the same kind of return as far as a 10% or 15% return for a smaller collateral investment. Nobody ever wants to lose their money. I totally get that. But $500 a pop versus $100 a pop feels a little
that better.
It hits different, as they say. Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Looking at the implied volatility high percentile things, fuel sale is at 66.13. I think some of us got fuel sale shares last week and did cover calls on them. Dish is 64.31. I think I opened and closed my Dish. I don't think I opened another version of that. The RUD is here, Adobe, which has earnings this week. Nike has earnings towards the end of the month. Oracle has earnings this week. Rivian, I hadn't really looked at Rivian to see if it offers any decent trade opportunities. AI, Walgreens, KRE, which is an ETF, USB, FedEx, which I think has earnings coming up. That may be why. Earnings on 6/20 is FedEx. That's why that's there. Nope, that's CMA, not Carvana. CMA, Beyond, Tesla, and VXX. PacWest is still up here. STZ, I don't even know what STZ even is. What is STZ? Constellation. Who are they? Never heard of them. But they have earnings on 6/30. So later this month, they have earnings. AR, which is Kroger, earnings in a couple days. AMD is at 29.61. If you're getting in on AMD. Netflix, oh my goodness. Netflix is 28 and Palantir 28. Was somebody getting ready to say something? I think you should take a look if you're looking at some of the things that you can rinse and repeat week after week. Carvana really offers some really decent premiums. Carvana seems to be offering really good premiums for spreads. I put a few things in the chat yesterday for cash secure puts and covered calls. I also made a post. If you follow me on Facebook or any place else in social media, my post yesterday was covered call screeners, the covered call results, and the selling cash secure put results. We've rinsed and repeated. We rinse and repeat EOSE. We've been doing that. AMC. We've been rinsing and repeating. And what you can do, covered calls, space next. There was somebody else that was on here. What you can do here is a covered call is just like a call credit spread, right? So you can, if you don't want to buy, $600 worth of next shares, look at the strike, check it on your chart, and see if you can do a call credit spread in that same area, right? Put on, this is the sell leg, the 750, let's say on next, this 7.5 is the sell leg. Put that on the sell leg, put you a buy leg behind it, still take advantage of the covered call screener opportunity in such a way that it won't cost you $600. You can put a spread on, so it's $50 or $100. I don't know. Next is probably a 50-cent spread because it's a small stock. So you can do that with the covered call screener. And with the naked put screener, if you don't want to just sell a put and put $477 of collateral up, or $400 of collateral here, because the 4 strike is $400 of collateral, you could just pick this sell strike and pick you a buy strike underneath it and turn it into a put credit spread. All right, you got to, we got all the strategies and resources here. Definitely, if you want to take advantage of some of the things that are, some of the trades that are being offered, then, definitely, look at them. I was looking for something else. Look at them and put them into something that's going to work for what you want to do with it. If you want to do spreads, then put them into, I think this is it. Then put them into spread, take the strike and put it in the spreads, right? Or take the stock, because these came from bar chart. Put the stock into, the trade into something that you want it to be. These are the cash secure put ideas. I mentioned TO, EOSE, AMC, Carvana, cash secure put going up. Upstart is on here, AI, AMC. Some of these I don't know who they are. So if you want to stick with just recognizable names, then you've got these 4 here in the middle. That's for cash secure puts, turn them into put credit spreads. Or you can do the covered calls. Several of these I don't know, but BBAI has been, I've traded them before. And then turn this into a call credit spread.
SPCE is the
Virgin Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Virgin Mobile.
It's
okay.
It's the space, Richard Branson space company.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, so we've covered that. Let's go. We didn't look at any charts today. Let's see if we see something interesting in the charts zone. Do I have a question in the chat? Constellation Brands owns Corona, Svedka Vodka, among other brands. All the flavored alcohols is a thing. Did y'all see that P. Diddy is suing his marketing company because he feels like they pushed some of the non-colored people brands and didn't push their brand as much, so their sales have not been as strong. And I'm going to tell you, that whole liquor industry, it's a whole racket because there's a lot of money to be made there. Y'all have probably heard my Yarbrough, the Bro Brothers bourbon story. You know, bourbon in Kentucky is a whole thing. And these brothers, the Yarbrough brothers, created a bourbon. They're in Kentucky, and they did get it into Total Wine. Total Wine, of course, is a chain store that's all over up there. And now this could have been a one-off, but when we went to we went to Total Wine specifically looking for the bourbon. We were up there, and my husband wanted to buy something to bring back. And we were asking, you know, do y'all have it? And they were like, yeah, it says, the computer says we have some. We'll go find it. So it's not on the shelf now. It says it's been here, but it's not on the shelf. They've got, you know, the whole row, and there's room. I mean, they'll say there's plenty of room, but there's room for another one to be there. So we drift around the store. We're probably drifting around the store maybe 20 minutes. And we finally asked, you know, did anybody find the Bro Brothers? What's the deal? I said, oh, we got somebody looking for it. So they didn't have nobody looking for it, by the way. They thought we were just going to leave. Nobody was looking. When we asked again, they went looking. And then he says, oh, yeah, we got it. He comes out with the full case. He said, yeah, it was in the back of the warehouse. Now, mind you, it been here. It been here. This is good grammar. It been here. And why it ain't out here with all these other bourbons you got out here. So it's just in the store. What y'all gonna do is wait, and when nobody buys it, you're gonna send it back to the factory and be like, nobody bought it. We send it back, nobody bought it. You never put it out there for people to buy it. So my husband bought all of it just because of how they were. He was like, I bought it all just because of how y'all acting. Just because of how you acting, I'm buying it all. This is SPX. I was looking at where's the thing? I don't know if that was an inspirational moment, but it could have been. It's an inspirational moment from the standpoint of you should make sure that, you know, you push through all these barriers, because there will be barriers, and no matter what you're doing, you're going to have barriers, but you push through either way. You speak up for what's right. Looks like the 4269 is definitely a support area in this zone here. Looks like it's got some support. And I want to say, I was looking further back. I charted on my YouTube video. I did a chart, and up here about 4306 is the resistance from August 16th. This candle back here has a pretty long wick actually, but August 16th, about 4306 is where that is. And we hadn't been there in a while. But that's where we're kind of hovering. It popped over 4,300. As Lakshman said last week, that if it went over 4,310 last week, it was going to come back in. And it did. It came right on back down and stopped just below 4,300. Just below 4,300. Okay.
So we're gonna strike for Friday's expiration.
Yeah, I think
I'm interested in that anyway.
I think we could look. I would look above that 43 that he mentioned, the 43.31. If there's something up there, because he said even if it goes up again, he gave that next resistance number just because if it went up to 43.20 on Friday, it could potentially pop over again. So I would look, you know, look at your delta. You look at your things. If the price goes up, is going up, definitely look up there, 43.30 area. I would look up there to see if a delta gives you opportunity for the week. Now, keep in mind, I mean, not in everyone else, that we've got, you know, CPI and PPI data tomorrow, and you've got the Feds doing their thing on Wednesday. So you may want to put your trade in. If you're doing it for the week, you want to put it in with Tuesday, Wednesday in mind, that you may need to close it before, because I wouldn't suggest that you leave your trade or call credit spread open. And it might turn out to be fine. We've seen this happen before. I wouldn't suggest that you leave it open when he makes his announcement or whatever, but that wait till after, you know, close whatever you got, wait till the announcement is done or whatever, and then enter again based on what you see. I wouldn't, you know, leave myself in the way of a binary event. And we do know that lots of volatility comes as a result of FOMC announcements. Well, if I look here at 43, or we're looking, you said for the week, let me go pick out, not the AM, Amy, now this is one of those AM times, be careful.
Okay.
So 43.30, the delta at 43.30 is a 38 delta. That's a little high. I'd probably want to go into the 20s for a delta or further. I don't know what kind of money you may look at. 43.75 is up kind of high. I probably would look around 43.50, 43.60. Let me go switch to vertical. 43.50 is markets closed, of course. Shows here paying $1.40, $140 at 43.50. If you just want to get $1 out of it, 43.65 looks like it's paying $1 right around those delta numbers I was just mentioning. So if the goal is the dollar, then go to where the dollar is, which gives you a little more space. And then as price falls down, your money gets, you know, it'll wrap up quicker. Of course, you can stick with the delta price you like, pull in more premiums, and then, you know, maybe get to hold on to a little bit more. I want to make sure that you don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Don't get
And
greedy.
then there's also next Friday,
You
right?
better go and preach it.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
What's that?
I said, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Yeah. So you could maybe look for a Wednesday. I mean, you can look for different expirations. You don't have to pick Friday. We can pick Wednesday. We can pick Thursday. You just want to be ready for when, you know, you don't want to be in the way of the train on Wednesday afternoon, because we don't know what's going to happen, right? So we're going to use wisdom. Let wisdom prevail. All righty. We've had a good little run, and we want to, you know, hold on to that as best we can.
Hey, last week I did a iron condor on this June 16th expiry.
Huh?
And on Friday I had to close out the put credit set.
Okay.
I don't know. So I got $10, but
You said you had to close it. Why'd you have to close it?
yeah, because I was looking at the CPI stuff and I was like, I don't want to be in the place where it's falling on me.
Oh yeah, but you could have waited till today.
No, so what happened last week? I had I had existing iron condors, and I closed the call credit spread side twice.
Okay.
And got like
Okay.
Yeah, I got $80 each time.
Yeah. So that $10 on the put credit
Tuesday.
spread. Yeah.
Right, but not on the put credit side.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I load up and I make some money. I load up and get some money, and then Thursday I got nothing.
Yeah.
And Friday I got like $8.
So you're looking for the trade results, not just the one side. If you got a call credit spread and a put credit spread, the combined returns were good. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I try to get that fall in the morning or the rise in the morning. And whichever side makes me $30 or more, I'll just take it.
Okay. Looks like some of us are falling into a rhythm, which is working out good.
Yeah, sort of.
Getting into
I'm not
the
crying.
rhythm. No,
not biting my nail.
That's all.
You know, that's my goal, not to bite my nails.
That's the goal.
Premium.
No nail bite. Oh, by the way, cash flow this weekend was really fun. Cynthia, you still here? I'm not sure if Cynthia's still here. Cash flow was fun. We had a few people who came. Ross, I think, finally made it, and I had to leave early, but I did get to play a game. Jamie beat me, but he should. He knows a lot more about the game. But I'll be coming at him because our listeners.
No,
What?
what you don't know is what happened when you left.
What happened?
Roster shows up and does exactly what I described at the beginning when I was saying every time Roster comes, he do this exact. He came in and won the whole thing. Like it didn't take him long at all, man. So yes, thank y'all for thanks for everybody who showed up. And we also had some people who were not traders who showed up because I had invited some people.
Cool.
And I think somebody else did as well. So I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, I enjoy playing the game. I now I'm starting to see, repetition in the cards that the small deals is basically buying stock and stuff like that. And there may be some houses to buy. The big deals though, 750,000 for this quadplex. You don't have the money. You want to borrow it?
Right.
Oh, and you're gonna pay like $4,000 a month for this money you get ready to borrow. Let me go back to my small deal first, please. Yeah.
That was hilarious when you said that, man, because you said it with such sincerity. We'll go back to these small deals over here.
Yeah.
Build up my stash.
Let me go back. Let me get back in my lane. You know how you jump out into the fast lane, realize your car won't get it. So you're like, let me get back in the slow lane.
I was just investigating, that's all.
Yeah. Back in my lane.
So what do you think of that card that always comes, your brother-in-law wants to borrow $3,000?
Oh yeah, I got that one. Brother-in-law wants to borrow money. He has no money. He's gonna pay you back over time, but he has no way to pay you back. And yeah.
You want to buy a house with no job.
So you can help pay for that.
You want to buy my house? You ain't got a job?
No means of income. What's the plan?
You
Do you have a
plan?
plan? What is
Maybe.
the plan? What's the plan? That's me.
No.
My daughter is always, when she's talking to me, she'll be mommy, the plan is, because my next point is always gonna be, what's the plan? Do you have a plan? If you have a plan, we can work with that because we at least got something we're working with. If you're just talking and we don't have no plan, then no, get a plan, then holler back at your mama because we need a plan. What's the plan? Yeah. Step by step.
Yeah, but it worked out good. Jamie exited the rat race, got into the fast track, and
Okay.
also,
I didn't even get to the fast track the other day. Jamie beat me so fast I never even got to the fast track.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I feel better when everybody gets into the fast track.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
That way you don't feel like you're just beating up on them?
No, because it's more competitive.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's like, because the way they set the game up, you can only buy one piece of franchise out there. You can only buy one, so that means whoever got it first got the one.
Okay.
So you got to try to build that up like quick.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing is, in the real world, they have people like Arlissa who move around the world. You could be playing the cash flow game in Dubai and the cash flow game in Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's like two not intersecting games, and you're killing it.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh my. Yeah. It was fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. My trip got cut short, but my game got cut short, but I was having a good time. All righty. I think we've covered all we needed to cover today. I think I'm looking at my screens to make sure I've hit everything. The VIX is in the 14s. I did mention that. All right. So let's do the daily declaration. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My account is growing more and more each week. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. I declare money likes me. I declare I'm a blessing to others. I declare I'm a world changer. definitely, as we continue to get into our rhythms, please continue to make your trading be as mechanical as possible. That's what we're shooting for. We're shooting for less emotions and more mechanics. So that way, if you normally get into a trade that's at this delta for this amount of money, yada, yada, don't let greed creep you in and have you break your mechanics to move in closer, or I'll do this. Or if you got a strategy that's working for you, continue to rework it. Now, if you need to fine tune your strategy, then definitely continue to fine tune it. But don't let the emotions of FOMO and greed and those other things cause you to break with what you've already planned to do. We want to continue to rinse and repeat on a weekly basis. I think what's been good, because I've been putting the results up, I believe that's benefiting. I mean, my initial plan was to do it just because, when I put out my content, people were, wanting to see receipts, and now we got something to show. But I think the byproduct, or that I didn't anticipate, and I think maybe some of you didn't either, is we as a collective group are now able to see how we are profiting each day. All right. So I think that's encouragement. I want that to be an encouragement to you. Again, I'm not asking you for your information just so I can be nosy or put your stuff out there per se. I will put it out there. If you notice, I don't put anybody's names attached to it. I just put that's what happened. But I think it's good for us to be able to see too what's actually happening in our group. We've not done this, and I, purposely didn't, because I would I always felt like people could just say what they want. They could make up stuff and didn't have to necessarily be true. But I know I'm not going to do that. I'm not making up any numbers. If we don't do it, we're not putting it up there. Period. Period, Pooh. But I think it's good for us to be able to put up our winnings in percentages and in dollar figures, so that way we can see what we individually are doing, and we can see what our community is doing. I think it's encouraging to us. So I will ask that you all continue to keep track of it, first of all, because you got to keep track of it in order to tell me the answer. So if nothing else, you need to start keeping track of it. I know I was really bad. I would write stuff down, but I wouldn't keep track of the results. Like, I would write it, whether it went bad or good, and I'd write the numbers down, but I wouldn't ever tally, right? So I think it's important that we tally and that we keep track of it. If you're not sure about how to come up with the percentages, when you tell me the amount of money, then I usually respond back with what percentage that is, right? So that'll help you with that math. But I want you all to continue to tally your wins and losses. You want to tally your P&L. And please be comfortable sharing that when asked, or without being asked. Get more comfortable with that. Not because you're bragging, because you're saying this is what happened. This is what happened. I've learned we've been doing this for years. We've been doing this for years. We do want to have steady returns. And if we can say I've profited $200, $300, $500 in a week, this is the result of the time that you put into your seat, because we put seat time and money time into this. Okay, we didn't just start this. We ain't new to this. We true to this, right? We didn't just start this. We've been doing this a minute. So we should be reaping the rewards. And we do know that trading comes with a cost. It doesn't always go easy. But I want us to encourage each other.
Hey, Arlissa.
Yep.
Yeah, so one of my friends who used to do, he was a teller in a bank. When I said, we in the group have been trying to keep track of our numbers. And I said, yeah, I started off kind of iffy at like 4% a week. And then 1 week I got like 11%, and I was like, yes. And I went back down to like four, and then 5.
It goes up and down.
And he's like, dude, 5% a week is a lot.
It is.
And then one of those videos that you and Aminata were, sharing around, it said at 5% a week, you could get to $1 million in a year.
Steady. But so can't have too many losses.
Yeah, you don't want the losses, right?
Yeah.
So That's why I don't mind, like on last week Thursday I made nothing, but I was setting up some trades for this week.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the collateral was being given out to make some money.
Yeah. There's some people who trade and they make 10% a year, and they're cool with that. We can pull 10% a day, sometimes 10% a week. This is good. This is good stuff. Yeah. Especially because we can learn it with smaller amounts, so that way when we scale up, that's why I want you to be mechanical with it. As you scale up, you can scale up comfortably because you've got repeatable strategies.
Yeah, I had a little dent in mine because I pulled some of I took $500 out of my margin account. Okay. To add it to my cash account. Cash account, okay. So now I have 2 accounts now. Yeah. And that one, because I was starting the process. Yeah. It's still it's not. I haven't bought to close anything yet. Yeah, it's compounding. Got to compound. Yeah. So. I did. Oh, just to confirm, I put this in the chat. I don't know if everybody saw it, but Rasta has confirmed that you can do covered calls inside of your cash account. You can do covered calls inside of your cash account. So once you have the shares in your cash account, right, inside the cash account, you got to buy them there. You can covered call that there because basically you've already got the cash there to cover it because you have the shares. So we can do cash secure puts inside of your cash account because you're covering those with cash. And you can do covered calls in there as long as the 100 shares you're using are in that cash account. You can't have the 100 shares in the margin account and you want to covered call them in the cash account. No, the shares have to be in the cash account and the covered call have to be there together. Okay. Yeah. That was good information. Thanks for following that up, Rasta, and coming back with the information. Yeah. I mean, when you call a broker, that's also confidence building to talk to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So I saw some other options in that cash account which I am not turning on.
Okay.
Like you can leave those off. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm talking like selling naked and in the cash account.
Well, you know what? You can. I mean, even if you turn them on, if your cash isn't there, the trade won't go through. So you don't have to worry about getting caught up like that. If you don't have the money, it won't go through.
No, but there was a hard checkbox, and I left it alone.
Okay, I think that's fine. But I'm saying is even if you had it checked and you were trying to do a trade mistakenly or whatever, if the cash isn't there, the trade won't go through. It's not a margin account. There's no extra money that's going to save you. Your cash is what's going to carry you in that cash account.
All right.
So if your cash doesn't do the trade, then it just boom boom. You know how Thinkorswim boom boom. That's the noise when it doesn't go. Boom boom.
That's funny.
That's true. Reject.
Y'all know we've all heard the noise. Boom boom. Like wah wah. It sounds like.
You know, it sounds like in the Peanuts cartoon, and the adults are talking.
Wah 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 wah.
Yeah, Charlie Brown teacher. Charlie Brown teacher.
Charlie Brown teaching. I had this teacher in college, Miss Chin, and she would always talk about do loops. She taught us. We learned Fortran from Miss Chan, and she would be just talking on wanga wanga wah wanga wah 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 do loop, and we. Oh my goodness! But I listen. They was all worked up and bothered, but I was making an A in Fortran. They were like, "Can you please help me?" Yeah, I was 16, and I went to college early. And then I went to college early in the summer. I went the summer between my junior and senior year. I went to college. And then I went back to school. I went back home for my senior year of school. But so then when I started college like as a freshman, but I was like 10 or 12 credits already in the bag because I had gone in the previous summer, and taken some stuff like Fortran and a math class and one other thing, I think.
You're one of those young ones, eh?
Yeah, just a little bit. I was the outstanding Negro student at my high school. Ooh. In 1988, I was the outstanding Negro student.
That's what they call it?
You were accredited to your race?
I was in the yearbook as the outstanding Negro student.
You were accredited to your race?
Credit to my race. My school had 7% African.
Unbelievable. How they come up with these things? Unbelievable.
Yep, 1988 this was. This wasn't that long ago. I mean, it's a long time ago, but it really wasn't that long ago. We were talking in 88 about Negro students. I got this. I'm in the yearbook.
And you wonder why NWA was so successful.
Yes. Yeah. Which is what made me this is part of one of the reasons why I went to a Black college, because I went to a high school that was, I was only 7% Black population at my high school. So I went to a Black college because I had, in my whole educational career up to that point, I was always like the lone Black girl in the class, or there was always a small number of us in the school. So when I was like an opportunity to go to Tuskegee, I was like, oh, all the Black people. Then I get there, of course I thought I was smart because I had been everywhere I had previously been. And then I get there and there's all these people who are valedictorians and salutatorians, and I wasn't either one of those things. And I was like, oh, wait, I thought I was the shiggity. Come to find out, I'm not.
Yeah, I know that feeling too.
Yeah, I'm
He's
not.
just one of the stars in the pantheon. Eh?
Yeah, but it was good. It was good for me to see that there were other people who looked like me who were, academically strong. It was like, cause that had not been my experience for the most part leading up to that. So I was like, oh, Black people know a lot of stuff. Exactly. They help me to appreciate my peoples.
Amen.
All righty. Let's see if I can wrap us up with our prayer. Come on, let's go. We're going to walk ourselves right into the market opening. So we're going to probably ride on in. I may turn off the video so it can start to do its uploading, but then we'll go into live trading. Lord, it is you who gives us the power to get wealth. Deuteronomy 8:18. You teach our hands to war, 2 Samuel 22:35, with the purpose of establishing your kingdom. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically in order to fulfill this purpose. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. I'm going to... Real quick, I just wanted to come on. This is Arlissa, Educator2Trader. Wanted to come on and tell you and ask you, I guess, to like and subscribe to the channel. If you like the content that I create and I'm, posting regularly, then go ahead and subscribe. That way you won't miss anything and you can be a part of all that we're doing here. I'm a coach to sellers. I'm an option sellers coach. If that's a vein that you don't know anything about or you want to know more about, then go ahead, subscribe and check us out all the time. All right. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.